Hey guys, welcome back to this beautiful channel. It is me, the Chainsaw Maniac, and I'm here making another one of these videos to help you guys with your web comics. Now, I'm making a video. It's been quite a while, okay? I've been up on streams a bunch of times because I just enjoy making streams, but thought let's just make a video. And unfortunately, when I decided this, I am not feeling quite well. I have a bit of a cold, a bit of a, I don't know if it's a flu or whatever, but I don't think it's the Rona because I'm not showing major symptoms. It's just basically sore throat, and my nose isn't quite stuffy, but my ears are blocked. So this is just a common cold or flu. At least I hope so. But yeah, I'm not feeling quite well, so I'm trying to get ample rest and all that types of things. So I'm not sure if I will be streaming tonight as well as posting a webcomic this week. I don't know if I will have get the time because I'm trying to get a bit more rest so I can get through this thing. So I can get back to my normal self. So I'm doing a little video for you guys, and as you have read from the title of the video, we're gonna be going through my writing process and how I usually plan out my web comics. So Indie Burn, this video is actually inspired by I watched actually one of Indie Burn's videos. She spoke about her writing process, and I thought it would be interesting to give you guys my writing process because I feel like it's quite unique in a sense of how I actually um, write my or draw my storyboards or whatever, because it's interesting how I plan out my compared to other common ways that webcomic artists usually plan out theirs. So so in Indie Burns video, she went into some more technical terms like plancers and plotters and pantsers and those types of things, and I'm not sure exactly. I only learned about this once I watched the video. I only learned about it like recently, so I don't know about these technical terms, but I'm gonna look at my webcomic the way I usually look at it, which is which comes from my background of being an animator. And so when it comes to animation, we usually deal with storyboards, and we usually storyboard our animations out. So when it comes to in terms of panning and everything and all types of visual movements on screen, so that the animation flows smoothly and you kind of get a feel of how things are going to go in the animation. The same way I deal with animations is the same way I deal with webcomics, actually, whereby I'm planning out a storyboard. I have the overall story in my mind of what's going to happen in the beginning, the middle, and the end points of the overarching story. But when it comes to episodes, I usually plan them separately, the same way I plan the overarching story with a beginning, a middle, and an end. So usually how I plan my webcomics, I always plan the beginning part, establishing exactly where we picked off from the last episode and how things are going to go in the current episode. Then what I do is I take the middle point, and the middle point is the turning point of the episode where the characters or whatever the situation is kind of flips on its head, and that's kind of how I do it. So in the midpoint, it's where things kind of go south or kind of go wrong, or maybe they kind of figure out something. So the midpoint is basically the focal point of the entire episode, whereby the episode's theme is based on, or how do I say, it's just kind of the point in which the whole webcomic rotates around, in a sense. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but it kind of makes sense to me. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm making sense for you guys, but that's kind of how I planned out. So the beginning, and I have the middle and the end. The end point is where we establish the point, for me at least, for the way I plan out my things. The end point is where I add a little bit of a kick to it, a little bit of a twist, whereby it's gonna kick off what's to come in the next episode. That's kind of how I plan it. So the beginning part, just to summarize it, is where I establish what has happened before, or establishing what's about to happen in the episode. The midpoint is the focal point by where everything rotates around the episode, and whereby the episode's main focus is on, I guess. And then the last point of the episode is where we're establishing what's happening next for the episode, as well as the kind of concluding point of the current episode. So this is kind of how I plan out my episodes individually, but I do the same for the entire season as well. So the season, as the beginning part, we establish the ideas and everything until we get to the midpoint, where it's the main focal point, and everything rotates around this point, and whereby you get more information and you kind of figure out exactly what's happening in this entire season. And then the end point is where we have a conclusion or establishing what's going to happen in next season. So that's kind of how I do seasonally, and you can even project it onward to in the entire story. We have the front part, say the beginning part, the same way you plan out your episodes, mid part same way you plan out the episodes, and end part the same way I plan out the episodes. So that's kind of, I do it kind of like in threes. So I do the mid, I do the beginning, the mid, and then the concluding point. And that's kind of how I do everything. That's just my way of how I do everything. And coming from an animation background, I storyboard, as I've said, my panels and everything. I storyboard everything. I when it comes to the text or speech that you're gonna use for the episode, I kind of wing that as well. Most of the time I wing it, but at the same time I have an overarching format for how I format my episodes, seasons, as well as the entire story. And yeah, so that's basically how I personally do my webcomics. I'm not sure if it works for everyone, but that's how I do it. I have my own crazy mindset. I have my own crazy ways of dealing with these things. A good tip for the storyboarding point is, when it comes to storyboarding, the way I do is, if you're planning on planning things out, because this is kind of how I do it. If you want to keep the ball rolling, so to say, and you don't want to get stuck on a panel or stuck in a point on the episode, especially if you're doing this weekly like I am, what I usually do is I plan out as much as I can for the storyboarding for the entire episode. Once I get stuck, usually what I do is I go back and I finish up some panels, and while I'm finishing up those panels, I come up with the next panels in the storyboard in my mind. And if I get and if I lock onto a specific idea or action or whatever I'm planning, then I go back to the storyboarding and I finish it up. So I'm always moving, you know. I'm always doing something, and I'm not staying in one place. And this way, that way, once you continuously, it also helps you, like in terms of while you're storyboarding, you will find that you will get, once you get stuck, you kind of get you're not motivated as much as when you started making the storyboarding. So then you kind of get stuck with the idea sometimes, and the best thing to do is finishing up some panels. Once you finish up some panels, it will keep you motivated. Once you get motivated, you will come up with more ideas and you'll keep things going. Okay, so that's for you guys out there like me who don't have a buffer and you kind of constantly have to do things. But don't try and burn yourself out. Always try to get ample rest. Like recently, I just got sick now, and I'm taking my rest. I'm taking my time. That's why I'm saying I might not post the episode this week, as well as streams or anything. I'm staying in bed, resting and everything. Right now I'm out of bed because I have rested last night. I've had this for a couple of days now, and I'm at the end stage of recovering from this cold or whatever. So I'm just waiting it out a bit, getting enough rest. Now, at this point in the video, I think it would be good to talk about what I wish I had done before I started my webcomic. At this point of the video, I think it would be good to talk about what I wish I'd started doing before my webcomic, and what are the things I've learned from dealing with my webcomic now in terms of planning and writing and those types of things. And I think it's always good to have an overarching idea of what your story is before you start doing your webcomic, and um, plan it out in advance. Not too much. You don't want to plan out everything unless that's just the way you write. But for me personally, I don't like planning out everything, because usually what happens is once I plan out everything, maybe later on I won't like an idea, then I would have to rewrite the whole story that I just wrote, and I would just waste time. So usually what I do is I give myself some leeway. Okay, I'm like, okay, I give myself some leg room to spread my legs out a bit, and get some ideas out there. And maybe I want to chuck something in here, maybe I want to chuck something in there. So what I do is, like I said, through my process, I have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Whatever happens in between those parts, I make up as I go along. So, and like I said, I plan my episodes the same way, I plan my seasons the same way, as well as I plan the overall story the same way. So in everything, it's kind of a layered approach if you think about it. I have like a three-way layer. So I have the episode in 3 parts, I have the season in 3 parts, and then I have the overall story in 3 parts. So it's kind of like an upside down pyramid shape if you think about it. And whatever happens in between these 3 parts for these each and individual segments, whether it's the episode, whether it's the season, whether it's the story, they have the specific themes and specific ideas of what's gonna happen in each of those parts. But at the same time, I leave enough space to where I can kind of improvise, and I can kind of express more of my creative freedom in terms of the way I would like my story to go, as well as and it also gives you time to also cover up some holes in your plot as well. So it kind of makes your story more coherent, as well as more consistent in certain aspects as well. Because there's so much. Because what I see is when people plan out the entire story, what happens is you plan out the entire story. However, you going through that entire story and writing it down. I mean, you might edit it. They might go through some things. Things might not fit here and there, and then you have to rewrite it, and then you have to re-edit it, and you kind of in the cycle. And if you completely, at least it's the way I'm thinking, if you're just going in a cycle the whole time, you will never get things out there. So me, I like to go. I don't like to sit in one spot. I like to get my stuff out there. So it might not work for everyone. There's other people I heard. I listened to some other podcasts of other webtoon artists. Usually I listen to Webtoon T. Great, awesome thing to listen to while you're doing a webcomic. Gives you some inspiration, and also lets you know how other creators deal with their webcomic and everything. So I would also suggest looking at other webcomic artists and how they write and plan things, because then you might get the idea of what works best for you, because there's no one way to write and plan these things. There's no one way of doing webcomics. It's only your way of doing webcomics. There's not a specific way you need to do things. It's not a specific mold that you need to mold your work around. You kind of have to build your own mold, and you kind of have to make things work for yourself. And I feel like that's the essence of being a good artist. When you can express your creative freedom in your own way, and at the same time it still holds up, it's still valid, as long as you enjoy it, as long as it makes you happy, and your art and expression of your webcomic can only be valid if you believe it's valid. And as always, I would say you have to believe in your art, you have to believe in your webcomic. When it comes to your, like me personally, I'm not the best writer out there, okay? I'm not good at writing intricate stories, or I'm getting good at it. I believe one day I will be good at it if I keep going. But at this point, I don't think I'm the best at it. I don't think I'm that good. I believe I'm okay. I believe I'm decent enough to write a story, because I have been writing comics for a very long time. It's just I haven't published any. I've been writing it for a very long time, since for as long as I can remember, since high school already. I've been doing my own comics. I've never finished a comic though, I'll be honest. There were comics I did way back in the day where I just kept going and going, and I never finished them because I got bored of them. But I feel like doing a webcomic on a publishing site is way different, in the sense of people are actually reading it now and they want to see what's happening with the characters, and you kind of enjoy filling in the blanks for them, and kind of watching your story grow. And it's kind of motivating for yourself in a sense. So yeah, I guess that's the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you learned something, or did not, or you just enjoyed listening to me while I talk about absolute nonsense. Sorry if my voice is a bit crackly. Sorry if I'm sniffing all over the place. I do have a bit of a cold and it's kind of bothering me a bit, but I'm on the recovery side, so I should be done soon. Then I will get back into streaming with you guys, get back into posting episodes and everything. I think I'm just gonna rest for this a week. You might get the episode at the end of this week, but I would say don't bet on it, because I might not get the time to finish it. So because of this cold now, that just kind of set me back a bit. So yeah, last point of advice: have a giant ass buffer. That's always the big point. You gotta have a giant buffer. Okay, I had a very small buffer, which I thought it was big at the time, and now it's done. And now this happens, whereby you're kind of lagging behind whenever stuff like this happens and life attacks your ass. So yeah, that's it for this video. If you guys haven't seen my webcomic yet, I suggest you do. It's on Webtoon and Tapas, The Merchant of Ignatius. Go ahead and check it out. It's all in the description down below, as well as everywhere on the banner above, as well as all my other social medias like Instagram, TikTok, whatever. That's all there. Webtoon and Tapas, my webcomics, out on there. You guys can check it out on either site. I don't know which one you prefer. And hit me up with those likes on there, and let me know your thoughts on it in the comments down below, or you can even just comment on Webtoon and Tapas. Don't forget to give it a good rating if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy and want more videos like this. I usually stream whenever I get the chance to. Mostly Tuesdays and Thursdays is when videos come out. Videos can be streams, it can be videos like this, it can be anything, okay? But you can also just hit up the notification bell and you'll be notified for whenever I post a video. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye now.